Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's list. We're going to hop straight into it. I've got an interesting mix this week. I do have a little bit of a theme. We've got a little grouping of New Orleans coins that I think are pretty special. But we're starting off with a 1916 matte proof Buffalo nickel, mintage of 600. These coins in general don't come beautiful. 16s especially are not necessarily great. This coin is, I would say, slightly above average as far as the overall look. It's got some really pretty blue and rose toning on it rather than just kind of like the gray nickel that you normally you see. Sometimes there's like yellows. This coin has got some color, which makes it a little bit better than normal, but it still doesn't like have super crazy pop. They often don't. Anytime you can find one that really glows, most likely it's going to grade 6 or 7, and it's worth a ton. Maybe not even 7. Like I don't think I've ever handled a 7 in 1916, but it is a great looking piece. Good strike, decent kind of crystally look that is typical with the matte. Some cool streaks in it with some subtle color, and this coin is 2,850. The last CAC CPGs or APRs are 2562 and 3360, and then there was one that was a PCGS that kind of looked pretty average that sold for over $4,000 in the last year. So who knows? Maybe I'm underpricing this. I think it's right. It's in an old soapbox, 6 digits. So I think somebody's going to want it. All right. Next, this is one of my favorites in the group. 1900S dime in 66 CAC. Old fat slab holder. I think one tiny little tick off of the hologram there, but oh well. Anyway, back to the coin. This coin has nice blue and rose pastel. It's a 66B coin, not anything more. It's never going to 7. It looks better than it does in this video because I can't get the video to go straight on to get those rose colors to show up. But nonetheless, I'm trying to do it this way. 100S's are not easy. Undervalued. There's some rose and blue on the reverse. I think this coin is undervalued in general. Semi-proof like on the reverse, especially. The nice mint mark. Good strike. Here's something that's important to think about, especially when you're looking at seated dimes, which share the reverse of a barber dime. It used to be, although sometimes it doesn't happen, that in order to get anything above like a 7, like in the 7 pluses, you needed all of this area here to not be a big bag of mush. And here too, this coin is absolutely frickin' hammered. It meets the strike requirements for a higher grade, but it doesn't have quite enough pop. This coin is just so virgin original. CPG is 5,500. I'm asking 5,650 for this coin in the old no line fatty. All right, another of the favorite coins, a 52.0 quarter. Really lovely original surfaces and color. This coin is not easy. It's not as tough as some of the other, no motto omen dates, but this coin is not something that you can go to a local or maybe even a regional show and find with a CAC sticker and nice look. It's got a nice Cirque cameo on it. Very, very difficult coin. Properly graded, maybe a 35. Should never grade 60 or 60. It should never grade XF40, but it is very wholesome. It's got a decent strike for an omen. A little bit of weakness there in the central devices. Not bad here. Obviously, some stars are not fully struck up, although they show some wear as well. This coin is 3,250. One just sold in 25 CAC for 24.75. Not really much besides that on the auction blocks. There's a good shot of the color. Very cool coin. And a coin that's in high demand right now. All right. Standing Liberty quarter. That was the first omen, by the way. There's a few more. Standing Liberty quarter. mint state 66. 23s are notorious, right? Let's talk about 1923s. I think of all the dates that I can think of, 23s are the ones that have the nicest strike on the head without being full head. So you can even see there's an ear hole there. There's just not quite enough of the little leaves of the laurel to make a full head. 23s come like this. They're notorious. Now you can find them in full head, but it feels like that the non-full heads are not piles of mush like a 26D or something like that, but anyway, so it's got a good strike. You're not going to pay it for the full head premium, even though it has almost a full head. I'd say that's a 90%er. All the shield rivets are really nice and brought up. No wear or frost breaks along this axis, which is always critical on standing Liberty quarters. So many are overgraded as a result of that. This coin is $1,000. CPG is $925. A lot of bang for the buck on this beautiful stained Liberty quarter. Probably my favorite design of all the 20th century coins ever made. All right. 1937 Blast White Proof Quarter 67 CAC. Kind of not really much to complain about here. This coin is very white, very flashy, very eye appealing. This is the coin that has, this coin has, not this particular one, but in general has APRs all over the place. There was a CACG coin that sold in the last year for $439, and then a PCGS coin that has toning and doesn't look super great, at least in the crappy heritage photo, that sold for over $1,769. CPG gray on this, or gray sheet in 67 CAC is 800. I think that CPG is 1,000. I'm offering this coin at 900 bucks, or no, 950. Sorry, 950 bucks on this quarter. It seems like that's more than fair. Washington quarters are fun. 36 to 42, get that little set, and then let's go ahead and finish all the other ones. Dimes and the halves. Gets expensive in the 36s. Okay, a very nice 1810, just wholesome XF40. Battleship gray. A lot of glare today on this thing. I'm sorry it's so glary. It's a very, very sunny day. I didn't curtain off the office. What is going on with this? So I would say just a perfect collector coin. A little bit of weakness there in the left facing eagle's wing. It happens a lot, especially on some dates. 1809s, a specific variety, happens a ton. 1811s, 1812s. 10s, it happens somewhat. This is pretty decent. This is $725. I didn't look up CPG. I just know what I paid for it. I marked it up a little bit. This type of coin in this price range is flying off the shelves right now. I mean, there are dealers buying from the commander's list directly. I'd say probably half of it. So either the market's crazy or I'm pricing stuff too cheap or both. I don't really know. I try to just do my best, what I think that the market will bear without burying my clients. That being said, this coin just sold for $1,440 like 3 years ago. That is a lot of money for a 580. This is a 580 in, or a 580 and 58 CAC. Coin is really, really choice. I could see this going 61 without a sticker in a CA or in an NGC holder. Trying to get, there is just like a tiny little bit of wear there. This is just a super duper slider. Blast white, nice strike. 580s though are kind of the 81Ss of no mottos. They're the easiest coin, I would say, and what most people use for type. But this grade, this sticker, white, this look, high end, these coins are in high demand. So anyway, it sold for $14.40 in 2023. I'm asking $1,500 for this coin. It's pretty. Doing a complete set of seated halves in 58. Good luck. Good luck. I hope you are very young and have deep pockets. All right, California. Love this coin. Look at the blues and the roses. Bought this the other day from a good customer that sells me coins whenever he finds something better, and he has a very strict eye to begin with, and this is a good example of this. These pastels. I love Californias. It's one of my favorite commems. It's a big frickin' bear on the back of it. Obviously, it's where I live. It's where Silicon Valley is. $850 for this California. Beautiful piece. And I think it's in my set of like top 20 commems. Like, I do have a little set of 20 commemoratives. They're pretty cheap in the grand scheme of things, and I just put them away. Oregon is too. This is a 66 CAC, OGH. Very choice for the grade. 66 plus, maybe shot 7. Probably not shot 7 CAC, not quite enough flash, but these Oregons have a bit of a satiny look to them that sometimes is deceptive. They don't have to be like an 81S Morgan to grade an 8, but I think it's properly right, or grade 7 rather. Nice color, original, never messed with, very clean, with that classic look. $650 in an OGH CAC. All right. I notice I say all right after every coin. I gotta stop saying that. 1885 65 CAC. You must be thinking, why are you offering this? And I'll show you. Boom! That's why. Look at the green. Look at all that bag toning. This coin is a stunner on the reverse. Reverse toners don't get enough love, in my opinion. This coin is very special, though. It's nice. It's gem. I think that it should get love whenever you get a coin that has this nice of color on the reverse. $950, which is a lot. But if you think about, would you rather have like a white 7, or would you rather have this coin? I know I'd rather have this coin, especially with that color, the greens and magentas. Banger. All right, and then the last two coins are the most expensive. And starting with this, 95.0, key date, perfect grade. This coin will likely, I mean, it could be, if it doesn't go to a collector, it could likely be cracked out. So you got the standard weakness of strike there, the 95.0. They're not well struck most of the time. I mean, this is super slider. You don't see any really sort of frost breaks in the field. You do see a little bit there that is accentuated by the weakness of strike. Decent cheek, no real heavy marks at all. I agree with the grade, but this coin could easily end up in an NGC 61. It just sold at auction for $8,000 about 6 months ago. I'm asking $9,500. I think this coin snuck through. I think it's certainly worth that. And I guess we'll see. It is a tempting crack because these things really increase in price at 61. $9,500 for the 95.0. And then last but not least is a $10,000 coin. PCGS has graded 167 1926. That's kind of hard to believe because 1926s are not that hard to find. But in high grade, because they come a little greasy, you know, this is a good example of like how it comes, but they just don't have like blast luster. They're not nuts, but this coin has really pretty color. Look at the pastels here in the field. The pastels kind of run all the way up here from about 10 to 4. It goes white here, little tick on the cheek there. The limiting factor on this coin to being a 7 is more likely the luster and frost and pop, not anything to do with like that tiny little tick, although it is noteworthy in a 6 plus. Or if it were in a 7, somebody might give it a little bit of side eye. I'm not saying this coin's a 7. I'm just saying that it's a very choice coin. There's a monster spread, and it is really, really, really nice looking. Great registry piece if you're out there looking for the best piece dollars without essentially paying triple for the grade up. 10,000 bucks. All right, folks, that is the list this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for paying attention. If you like what we do here, please hit subscribe. You know, tell your friends and family, even your distant family. Tell second, third cousins. You know, get them involved. I need subscribers. I work hard on this list every week, and I appreciate your attention, your subscription, and your patronage, and the fact that we share a common hobby. So until next week, happy hunting.